Hi, I'm Lee Gay, and this is PwC's Tax Insights in Brief. Treasury and the IRS released Notice 2026-16, providing interim guidance on the new special depreciation allowance for qualified production property under Section 168N, as added by the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The provision allows 100% depreciation deduction for non-residential real property used as an integral part of manufacturing, production, or refining activities and placed in service after July 4th, 2025 and before January 1st, 2031. The notice addresses the definition of qualified production property, the meaning of a qualified production activity, election procedures, and recapture rules. Taxpayers may rely on the notice for qualifying property placed in service in tax years beginning before proposed regulations are published, provided the notice is followed in its entirety. Here are a few key takeaways for taxpayers to consider. First, the definition of qualified production property is specific. To qualify, non-residential real property must be used as an integral part of a qualified production activity. Its original use must commence with the taxpayer, and construction must begin after January 19, 2025 and before January 1st, 2029. The notice incorporates familiar rules from the existing 168K regulations for determining original use and beginning of construction, and there are also special rules that can allow used property to qualify under certain conditions. Second, the scope of qualifying activities matters. A qualified production activity must involve manufacturing, production, or refining that results in a substantial transformation of the property comprising a qualified product. The notice defines manufacturing, refining, and production and provides a helpful NAICS code safe harbor for property placed in service in 2025. Importantly, contract manufacturers can qualify even though they do not own the finished product. Third, elections provide significant flexibility. Taxpayers designate the dollar amount of eligible property to be treated as qualified production property on a property-by-property basis, allowing them to claim the full basis or a specific dollar amount. This flexibility helps manage the tax impact of the deduction and mitigate potential recapture exposure if property ceases to be used in a qualifying activity within the 10-year recapture period. Treasury and IRS expect forthcoming proposed regulations to be consistent with this interim guidance, and they are seeking targeted comments by April 20th, 2026. Here are some next steps to consider. Evaluate current and planned real property investments, including new construction, improvements, and used property acquisitions to determine eligibility for the 100% special depreciation allowance. Second, model the downstream impacts of claiming the deduction, including potential recapture consequences if property ceases to be used in a qualified production activity within the 10-year recapture period. Finally, consider submitting comments to Treasury and the IRS on issues not addressed in the interim guidance in order to influence the forthcoming proposed regulations. For more details, read the attached insight. Thanks for watching. This has been PwC's Tax Insights in Brief.